Hey folks, Craig Danger, vinyl record player. Oh, back, and today I'm going to be talking about count them five, legendary artists with alarmingly low-priced catalogs. The kind of catalog where is there something wrong with these people? No, they legends. Something is wrong with the system, friends. And old Craig Danger's here to point out, do the arbitrage for your ass. As always, when you're with Craig Danger, you want to remember safety first. So I'll need you to buckle up. And we're back, and I'm just going to roll into these heroically underpriced catalogs. A lot of these are available either in the used bins with the plastic on them, but you know what? Sometimes you can get these in like the dollar bin. I have achieved many of these records, found many of the records by these particular artists in the bins, and you know what? Fantastic albums for super cheap. We'll start with, of course, the Moody Blues. I think, kind of one of my favorite sort of proto-prog bands. Certainly, they begun around 65. Their first couple albums are more on the kind of the R&B, sort of Spencer Davis-y era of the time. That's the sound. But then come 67 with Days of Future Past, they move into like a symphonic rock sort of essence. And ooh, it's fantastic. This, I think, is their best album. Nights in White Satin, of course, was the hit. If you've ever heard oldies radio ever, you've heard that song, which is legendary. But this whole album is amazing. And this, of course, would start off what they call the Magnificent Seven. This one I probably got for about $7 or $8. As you can see, it's got the plastic on it. It's on the London label. But anyway, this one I probably got for $7 or $8. But this album and the ensuing 6 albums known as the Magnificent Seven, wow, all of them are fantastic. And what's more, all of them easily available for, you know, like $1, $2, $3. This is to our children's children. Got some classic look at the band inside. Really, I think this one's got Gypsy on it. Gypsy's a classic. All really good stuff. So this one, there's no way I got this for more than 5 bones. Always available. Their final album of that Magnificent Seven period, of course, The Seventh Sojourn. After this, they kind of take a break until about the later 70s. And certainly, again, you can buy the 70s and the 80s Moody Blues, again, super cheap. Definitely in the bins. But the Magnificent Seven, which is basically, I think the albums basically are between about 67 and maybe 72. Maybe this one's 72, maybe it's 71. Whatever the case, you want to be looking for that Magnificent Seven. But again, super cheap. And you know what? Even if you just want a sampling, right off the hop. See that? Right there? That's $4. That's $4. For this is the Moody Blues. It's a double album, friends. The double album. Right there. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. 4 bones. The things about the Moody Blues as well is that a lot of people bought these records. I've heard from people of the era that you used to go to a party, people would slap on a Moody Blues album, and people were like, "Oh, this is a vibe. We got a vibe happening up in this party." Apparently, that was the word. But anyway, $4 for a double album best of. You can get these all day. I don't know that there's a jurisdiction in North America where you cannot get Moody Blues records for under 10. And in fact, again, if you see something for like 9, hold on, friends. Keep looking. Go into those dollar bins because you'll find these all day, and I have no idea why, because this music is all very fantastic. The Moody Blues, my first absolutely tragically budget-priced catalog, but hey, the savings are all yours, friends. And hey, I'm always interested in finding out what the viewers are thinking, particularly if there are any artists that you can think of that you've been to a record store recently and just been like, I can't believe how cheap these are. What's going on? There are those artists. That's the thing about this video is you're not going to get a lot of new artists because any record made in the past 20 years is going to sell for $20 and up, basically. But I'm curious about any of those classic artists that you find. Frankly, you can get some stuff into the 80s. So put it in the comments. Always love to hear any feedback from fine viewers like yourself. Savings all yours. Number two, well, I mean, this is of course, you gotta like Lou, so you gotta hear Lou. But of course, I gotta represent here with my favorite Lou album, of course, Lou Rawls' Soulin'. Lou, of course, goes way back, even into the late 50s, around the Sam Cooke era. Actually, he did actually do backing vocals on Bring It On Home to Me by Sam Cooke. Little tidbit. But he started releasing albums in 62. This one is from 66. In my opinion, his absolute best. Working with a fantastic producer called David Axelrod. And wow, this is all really sort of jazzy, but very almost, I'm going to say like similar to the Frank Sinatra of the era in places. This is not, I guess, what you would call R&B, straight R&B. It's more kind of on a jazzy tip, but all really, really great stuff. This is, of course, Soulin', similar eras. This is probably 66, 67. Your Good Thing, another great album. Everything Lou does, the thing is this. I will say, here's my Lou Rawls disclaimer. You gotta like Lou's voice. And the reason why I say that is that it was tough for me to get into Lou, because at first I was like, oh, I don't even think I like this guy's voice. Now I can't get enough of Lou. Lou is kind of one of those things that you gotta warm to. So you're a good thing. I'm sure I got this for under $5 easily. This one I know I got for $2. This is a double best of from the Capitol era, which again is his first era and I think really his best. The thing about Lou Rawls is he probably had like 60 albums. So you can go crazy, but I would say start out with the 60s era. You can even work into the 70s era. But again, anything on the Capitol label is a must-have. After that, he goes into MGM, and then you know what? You want to be getting records in the dollar bin all day. You can go to later Lou. You can go to Disco Lou right here. This one was not more than $1. I guarantee. Unmistakably Lou was unmistakably not more than 100 cents. And it's just a straight up fact. But you know what? This stuff on the Philadelphia International label, I still have to warm to this stuff. This is, this is kind of the height of Lou's popularity, to be fair. He had his own variety show and everything. And I mean, look at this immaculate, what appears to be a velvet suit. But anyway, again, you can get these records all day for, if you're paying more than $3 for Unmistakably Lou, I'm not sure what you're doing, friends. But again, Lou Rawls, definitely, you could, I think if you got into a store that had the entire set of his Capitol albums, I think you could buy it for under $40. And that's like probably about 10 albums. I mean, it's crazy how much of a deal. And then, of course, Philadelphia International. His MGM stuff is more similar to that 60s stuff. On the Capitol label, and then of course you talking Disco Lou. And again, these records are available all day until there's some kind of wild disco revival. I'm afraid Unmistakably Lou ain't breaking the $5 mark. That's what I'm saying. Number 3, and actually one of my favorite, very sort of odd, lot of copies of these records around, and yet they just did not sell a lot. And of course, I need to talk about Spirit. This, of course, is a class. I believe this is either their debut or their second one. Spirit. The big one on this one. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. There were no big ones on any of these, except for I would say on The Family That Plays Together. They do have a fantastic song. Really sounds unlike any of their other stuff. Of course, I Got a Line on You. I think it went to about 25 on the Billboard chart. They never tried it again. Kind of a random man. The bald gentleman here is the dad of, I believe, one of the members of the band, maybe the lead guitarist who his name is Randy California. So how can you not love it? But you know what? This is all sort of psychedelic, sort of poppy, almost moody bluesy in places. Some nice harmonies. I was just actually listening to this one today, the 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. Again, this one up until about 2 weeks ago had a $1 label on it. I picked this one up in the bins for one whole bone, friends. And look at that fantastic gatefold right there. Classic stuff. But you know what? This stuff is all really, really good. And again, if you can find Dr. Sardonicus, I would say go for it. But of course, this one's a good one too. the family that plays together. You get the hit on this one, and that's a little bit more, I guess, accessible in terms of spirit. But yeah, in terms of late 60s, quasi-psychedelic pop rock vibe, ooh, nothing beats these guys. Really good. Oddly didn't sell a lot of records, and yet at the same time, I've seen these records all day for $5 and under. So yeah, don't pay a lot more than 10 for any of these albums, but they had a run of about 5 or 6 albums there, and then I think they broke up, got back together in the 80s as people do. But that original run of albums, pretty much everything from it is all fantastic, maybe until the final one. But yeah, Spirit, classic band, super cheap catalog, don't know what to say. Let's keep going. Of course, it wouldn't be without a Canadian classic. Of course, what would a Craig Danger be without a representing my man Gord, Gordon Lightfoot? This, of course, is my favorite. Gord, a classic sort of folk singer turned, I guess you could say pop singer, but you know, he always kind of had folky vibes. This is his most pure in terms of folk and folkiness. But you know what? I think this is probably one of his best, if not his best album. His early United Artists period stuff, I think, is very, very underrated. Did not sell a lot because, of course, it would be not until about 70, 71 when he released If You Can Read My Mind. Monster hit. Everyone buys it. I believe it was on an album. Then they re-released the album as If You Could Read My Mind. Anyway, Gord kind of goes on from there. But before then, he had, of course, Lightfoot from 66, which is fantastic. Similar period, also excellent album, The Way I Feel. This, of course, is, what does it even say on this? What does this say right here? Does this say $3? $3, friends, right there. Look at that. The proof is in the pudding. The Way I Feel, Gordon Lightfoot. This is probably from about 67, 68. Classic stuff. And then I just picked this one up in the $3 bin the other day. Early 70s. This, of course, would be after that initial hit, and he started to break out the hits more often. The title track, Sundown. Bit of a classic, and again, yeah, 3 bones for this one. In pretty good shape. Of course, this is on the Reprise label. So yeah, again, if you can get that United Artists stuff, all good, but it's particularly Lightfoot from 66. But you know what? Also, at least in the early 70s, any of the Reprise stuff is definitely worth a buy. And, I mean, you're getting it possibly for under $5. Again, I don't even know what it's like in Canada, but these albums sold way more in Canada too. So my sense is that they got to be like $1. I have no idea though. But another on the cheap, amazing catalog, and again, you can get it on the cheap all day. Paying more than $10 for a Gordon Lightfoot record, I'm like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? That's crazy talk. Don't do it. Don't do it, says Craig Danger. Gordon Lightfoot, Sundown, and again, his whole catalog. Going up to about 75, all really great quality, and again, you can get all that stuff for under $5. What you're looking at here is the final number 5, just passed this year, the Iceman, the legend, absolute legend. Check on the channel. Of course, I did do a retrospective of Jerry when he just passed. Such a legendary guy. What you're looking at here is the only Jerry Butler album I ever spent more than $10 on. This one actually I found is hard to find. The Iceman Cometh, kind of seen as his sort of legendary comeback album, and it is a good one. Early Gamble and Huff on this one producing, and it's very fantastic on, of course, the Mercury label. And you can get a lot of the early Jerry stuff for just under $5 all day on the VJ label. But the Mercury stuff is kind of where the real gold is. From 71, the Sagittarius movement, more classic sort of soul vibes, very rich symphonic production from, of course, the early 70s, in my opinion, really the best era for soul music. And Jerry sounds fantastic on this record. This one, also amazing, sings assorted sounds with a sort of friends and family. Another one, of course, if it's real what I feel, I'm coming back to get you, says Jerry. And of course, Brenda Lee Eager. A lot of great duets in this series of records, to the point where he actually did an entire album of duets with Brenda Lee Eager. But if it's real, what I feel is on this one, and ooh, it's a banger. Again, I think I got this one for under $5. This one, I believe I got for 7 Canadian bones. This is one of the first ones I bought from Jerry, up in the Winnipeg, Manitoba. And then, of course, the one that I always refer to, of course, one of, in my opinion, the best soul double albums ever released. I would put it top 3, guaranteed. Maybe even top 2. I don't know what to say. Love this album. The Spice of Life. This one you might be paying up to 10 bones for, but otherwise, you can get Jerry Butler records all day for $5 and under. Check the bins. A lot of these records are not as heavily played. Again, Jerry was not really a party rocker kind of R&B guy, but a great singer, and really, really fantastic stuff. Jerry Butler, Spice of Life. This one, you might pay up for $10. Maybe you get a really nice copy. This, of course, is a double album from '72. You might have to pay a little bit up for this, but again, Jerry Butler, you can get his records all day for 5 bones or less, I think. And again, that's the whole point of this video. So again, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe if you're still chilling here. Always appreciate it when people watch the end. I mean, I'm here to educate and possibly to regulate. But at any rate, my friends, again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one.